Massive reforestation is key to averting a climate catastrophe. Researchers claim that covering 900 hectares of land, size of the continental U.S., with trees could store up to 205 billion tons of carbon, about two-thirds of the carbon that humans have already put into the atmosphere.
Here's a summary of the article.
Restoring the world's forests on an unprecedented scale is the best climate change solution available, according to a new study. The researchers claim that covering 900 hectares of land, roughly the size of the continental U.S., with trees could store up to 205 billion tons of carbon, about two-thirds of the carbon that humans have already put into the atmosphere. While the best solution to climate change remains leaving fossil fuels in the ground, we will still need to suck carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere this century if we are to keep global warming below 1.5 C. So the idea of reforesting much of the world isn't as far-fetched as it sounds. The paper insists on 205 billion tons of carbon, but this seems too high when compared to previous studies or climate models. Radically reducing carbon emissions and absorbing the carbon that's already in the atmosphere will be necessary to avert catastrophic climate change. Reforesting an area the size of the U.S. will have massive benefits on local environments and will store a huge amount of man-made carbon emissions. Even if the world reduces its carbon emissions to zero by 2050, there will still need to be negative global carbon emissions for the rest of the century, drawing CO out of the atmosphere to stabilize global warming at 1.5 C. Reforestation is essential for creating negative emissions, not reducing the amount of carbon that humans are still emitting.
This post received a score of 4,680, with an upvote ratio of 97%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
This is why the deforestation of the Amazon had been so detrimental to our planet.
Maybe the rich countries should actually rent rainforest from Brazil. I mean, like millions of acres to protect it from deforestation.
Not the worst idea, honestly.
Makes loud contract enforcement noises.
Powerful message on one of the most important issues of our time, only hope that it gets through.
We are kind of reaching now or never territory with this.
More like never territory.
Depressing but true.
Gee, maybe we shouldn't have sold that lung. 18.5% of our current agricultural areas. 28% of our current grazing land. Other studies suggest that you need 4 times that though.
Meanwhile, up to 40% of food in the U.S. is wasted. If we were less wasteful consumers, we could reforest a huge percentage of agricultural land without noticing a difference at all.
Greater than if we were less wasteful consumers. This would mean a drastic restructuring of the food industry in general. This mostly isn't about consumers except in the indirect sense.
It's not just about what's happening on land, we need to address everything being done to the ocean. It's being polluted and necessary food chains are being disrupted due to overfishing and shark finning. We get most of the oxygen we breathe from algal photosynthesis. The entire world's approach to the environment needs an overhaul and to be held accountable when they continue to do everything they're doing to hurt the environment.
True, but how do you expect that to change? That would mean a global campaign, and I think we all know how bad at teamwork humans are. You know what's not going to happen? Planting a 900 million hectare plot of land with trees. Get real. No, the polluters have to change, and you can tell who they are when they deny climate change is happening.
Not in one place, sure. But in the US we can build windbreaks and flood prevention tree stands. Trees could be planted along the rim of the former Aral Sea to reduce wind speeds and the spread of toxic dust. The Great Green Wall in the Sahara could also be expanded.
Mangroves can be planted and swamps encourages to stabilize coastal land and prevent storm surges, as well as protect ocean environments from agricultural runoffs. Bonus, creatives havens for diversity.
And stop cutting down the mangroves that already exist. I'm talking to you, Miami Beach.
Please consider using Ecosia. It is a search engine that uses the ad revenue from searches to fund tree planting efforts around the world. I have it on my laptop and on my phone. It isn't as good as Google, but what I'm looking for is usually there. If I can't find something, I still use Google from time to time.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.